Hello and welcome to another episode of Diplo Strats. I'm Captain Meme. I'm here once again with Ezio. Hi Ezio.
Hello, hello.
And you may notice that Ezio is on the board on this one. You can see him on the corner over here, in the power rankings. And that is because this is the Olympus final. You will have seen our commentary on the Olympus semi-final before, where Ezio miraculously qualified for this, right? And this is one of the biggest tournaments in online diplomacy. And Ezio, you got through to the final 7. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's no mean feat to get to the finals, so it always feels good to make it.
And so, going into the finals, we have 7 people who had all managed to top a board. I believe that's how it works on this tournament, right?
Yes, the semifinals, they play 7 games spread out over some time, and then the winners of those 7 boards make it to the finals.
Yes, and so these people on the right, they have all won a semi-final board. These are the best in the tournament. You will see Mordio as France, King Red as England, Ed Sullivan as Russia, Jeff Wang, also known as Spedio, as Italy. You may hear Ezio refer to them as Spedio throughout this because Ezio was talking to people on Discord, I think, and so saw their screen name most of the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Gordon as Austria and Banana. How do I pronounce this one? Just Banana, I guess.
I think we just call him Banana.
Oh, do I do an American? Banana.
Banana.
Banana,
yeah, what's the southern pronunciation for banana? Is it just banana?
Well, in English it's banana, right? You gotta lengthen.
But what's the southern one, Mr. Southern Man?
Oh god. I don't know. I need to go and ask Cody. But hey, I'm sure someone in the comments could answer, right? But yeah, so we have banana on turkey.
Because dialectic differences obviously famously translate well through text on the page.
Exactly.
I'm just envisioning a bunch of people just typing out banana and pasting it in the comments.
Don't say that, we'll get a million banana comments. Oh god.
Well, anyway, we'll get a million comments and the engagement bait would be real.
Yeah, that is true. You're already doing better than I am on the on the getting people to engage.
No, engagement bait would be saying something factually incorrect and then getting people to correct us.
Oh god. All right, let's skip
every time I've been wrong. It's just engagement bait.
Let's skip the engagement bait stuff. This is the Olympus finals. Those are the players of the Olympus finals. One of them is Ezio. So I am going to hand over to Ezio to start explaining what happened in this spring 1901. Anything you want to focus on first?
Oh god. Yeah, so this is a finals board. And so it's a winner take all. Everyone knew that going in. This game's going to 1910. And everyone knew that in this game, which was quite nice, as opposed to my semifinals game where people claimed they didn't know that the game had a timed end. So everyone knew that the game was what was going on, and this was a Paris method, right? So the order you see people on the right of the current power rankings, that's the order in which they picked their country. This is potentially somewhat misleading because the tiebreakers are the inverse of this. So the people at the bottom have the better tiebreakers. So currently, Ed's in first place with 4 centers, and then Banana is in second, then Gordon's third, all the way up to Mordio, who's technically in last place right now. But yeah, so I was playing in this game, which means I was around for all of the negotiations. And this was a pretty active 0-1. Especially for the spring, things went off. I think the biggest move on the board was that there was a DMZ in Burgundy, and France just walked into Burgundy.
Oh, interesting. I would not have predicted there was a DMZ there. That's a big move, especially for a finals, right? Usually you see people being pretty non-committal in Spring 01 in the final.
Yeah, as to, it wasn't like a hard DMZ, no, but he knew for a fact that I wasn't going there and that I didn't want him to go there. I don't think Marty ever explicitly said, not a chance of my going there, but he knew that moving there he would get in and that it would make me unhappy for him to be in there. So yeah, and then combine that with the move to Picardy, you get the interesting French opening where where France doesn't claim all of Iberia in 01, right? This is the only way that France like is guaranteed to not claim both Spain and Portugal. And then, but France is putting 2 on Belgium, so France has or puts 1 on Belgium and 1 on Munich, right? It's just let's play more for the center of the board than playing to secure the other side. The other most interesting move, in my opinion, is Venice to Trieste, happening in the spring. Oftentimes, when there's this loan, it happens in the fall, but this time it happened in the spring, which is usually bad news for Austria.
Yeah, I mean, so in the general idea behind the Trieste thing, I feel like we say it every single time we do one of these commentaries because it is so common, right? But in order to get the Italian...
Let's skip it, we can go next.
In order to get the Italian mobilized, the Austrian often donates one of their builds to Italy, but it's through giving up Trieste in the fall turn. Putting them in Trieste in the spring turn means they can go and sabotage you. At least they haven't backfilled into Venice with the Rome army, so they can't actively grab 2 dots, right? This, to me, says more like this is probably going to be an attempted Chilopanto or something similar, an attempt to get the Italian army actually onto the front line and through the Austrian lands rather than just squatting in Trieste for the entire game, which is what it usually tries to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Often, but it does mean Austria is more exposed because Italy here just has the ability to go to be nasty. Like, there's the classic tap Serbia, get supported into Greece from Turkey, which Turkeys will often give you support into Greece. You can also just tap Budapest or something. Like you can just be nasty with your army in Trieste in the spring. Whereas if you only take Trieste in the fall, there's no nastiness available. But I again, I had pressed in the game. I knew that Italy was not planning on doing that. Italy was just like, hey, Austria's fine with me being in there in the spring. I'm not going to do anything nasty or crazy, so this will be fine. And in fact, I was aware that they negotiated where Italy wasn't going to take Trieste even. So Tunis, excuse me, wasn't going to take Tunis even. So we can expect aggressive movements.
Gotcha. So this is the like hyperspeed Italy opening where they go straight to Aegean?
You know, I think so. Now that I mentioned that, this game started back in May, I think. So this is like 3 months since the game started.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can see it, but I'm very confident that Italy forewent. That the agreement was that Italy's not going to take Tunis this year.
Gotcha. Well, before we go ahead to see it, I did also want to ask about your other neighbors up here. I assume you'd made an agreement with Russia at this point not to bounce them in Sweden in the fall turn?
Well, that's an interesting thing. So I was anticipating making an agreement with Russia to let them into Sweden. But my view about Sweden as when I play Germany is that I don't let Russia into Germany unless Russia gives me a reason to let them take Sweden. And Ed gave me a response that he doesn't beg for centers.
Okay.
When I was like, okay.
That's not a great reason.
That doesn't feel like a reason for me to give him Sweden. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll bounce. Also, I'm gonna be very me-centric when I'm talking about this game for the audience, and I apologize. I struggle to analyze games like this objectively once I've been in them, so I can talk a lot about stuff that pertains specifically to me. And I just could tell that there was a lot of tension in the West between England and France, even in this opening, and I'm not particularly happy with things. So England was not pleased about France being in Picardy. I don't know why exactly, but Kingred was not happy about this. Because like I can understand being concerned about Picardy if Mordia was also in the English Channel because of a potential convoy, but this didn't feel hostile to me at all. I was like, he's got armies, he's going for Belgium, nothing else. But Kingred was pissed about it, and if I can leverage this into an EG, I'm very happy about that. And so bouncing Sweden does further an EG a lot. And so my opening, I feel pretty strong. Like I am interested in doing an EG.
Mhm.
Um,
I
so
wonder if
yeah.
King Red had been gunning for Belgium, and like this opening obviously as France says, I'm not letting you take Belgium under any circumstances, right? Although,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess France could technically support you into Belgium and then YOLO support England into Belgium even, and then YOLO Munich. That's feasible, but just as an opening, it looks like France is going to go for Belgium, right?
Yeah, it really, really does.
Mhm.
Um, and your point about Burgundy just going for Munich was the scary part for me because Ruhr has this really interesting decision. Because England asked me to support their move into Belgium from Yorkshire. And France told me that he was taking from Burgundy, but I could tell that France was lying to me about his moves this phase. And so the question then is, what are you doing with Ruhr?
Yeah, because yeah, mm. Because you kind of I would pretty much always cover Munich because I don't like leaving my centers open to people. But I don't know that that's necessarily the best move. I think that's just because I don't like leaving my centers open, right? um,
Yeah.
and then you hope that you bounce with the French in Munich and the English bounce with the French in Belgium, and then no one really gets anywhere, and you're in Holland, and then are prepared to support England down to Belgium on the next turn, right? And if France gets into Belgium, that's not ideal, but it's not the worst. Like France is still a 2-build France. That's what they get anyway, usually, right? uh,
Yeah, and then to your and my analysis was quite similar to yours, where like the worst case, I get back in Munich, then I'm in Holland, assuming England didn't lie to me, and if England lied to me, yikes. But then if I'm in Holland and Munich, then we can put England and Belgium next phase anyways, and so it's really not that big of a risk. If I lose Munich, it's pretty bad for me directly.
mhm.
So I felt that I should cover Munich, especially given that I'm hesitant about France. And yeah, there's a chance that France actually takes from Burgundy, in which case it'd be much better to just cover Munich. But yeah, so we can go see the moves. We can go see the fall results.
Okay. Fall
Um,
1901. Okay, so France played the right move set here. Right. Well, okay, I say France played the right move set. What are they doing in Spain North Coast?
what are they doing in Spain, North Coast?
That's a choice. So I mean, I assume they're going there because they want Italy to be friendly with them, no matter what, right? And they're saying, I am not going to be able to attack you under any circumstances, Italy. South Coast would be threatening to you, right? North Coast is literally useless. But hey, that's that's what they decided to do there. But they made the right decision on
North Coast still takes the dot. So
yeah, that's true. And they're probably going to go to Portugal next turn anyway, right? So we'll see. One question for you here. When you went back to cover Munich, did you tell England you were going back to cover Munich, or were they expecting you to support into Belgium?
I told England I was probably going back to Munich, but I was on the fence about it because I was like I was like 80% going back to Munich, and I told England I was likely going back to Munich, but I told them there was a chance that I was gonna go help them into Belgium because obviously like I don't want them doing anything else crazy with that army, right? Like
Mhm.
if they bounce Holland, it's the end of the world, right? So
Yes.
better to make them think that this happens, and this still gets them to be this gets the hostility shown, right? Where like because as soon as these moves flipped for what it's worth, France and England both came to me and just spilled all sorts of tea about the previous phase. How like France was like, "Oh my god, I super thought England was attacking you and was going straight to Holland, and this was the deal that we made. I'm so sorry, I lied. Now twice on these consecutive phases. I'll do anything to make it up to you, please, 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 please." And then England was like, "Oh my god, this French lying scumbag, hate his ass. Let's kill him. Rah rah rah." Which is kind of exactly what you hope to hear as Germany. Like
Yes.
that's just yeah, I don't know. That was amazing.
That
Um,
is perfect. And like, if you look at the position after this turn, right, the French are in Belgium, but the only unit they've got to support that Belgium unit, because they can only build in Brest, Paris, or Marseille, is Burgundy. You've got a unit next to Burgundy, so you can just cut it and support the English in, or the English can support you in, and France can do absolutely nothing about that. So you're pretty well positioned here, right?
Yeah.
This is
and then
absolutely
globally,
fun.
yeah, and then globally, we can see that Austria and Italy are doing the pretty standard current theoretical like Austria, Italy, Lepanto really fast. It's not. This isn't a Lepanto, but it's the same very aggressive move against Turkey, and we can see that Russia looks pretty pro-Turkey by not going into Black Sea like this, taking Romania with the army, the constant bounces in Galicia as opposed to a DMZ. This looks like This looks like it's set up to be Juggernaut versus Austria, Italy, and Russia only has one build, which is generally quite good news if I'm looking to EG. And so the negotiations this phase for me again were amazing. France agrees to build 2 fleets, which is something that Germany loves to see, and agreed to cede Belgium. France just said, "I don't want Belgium anymore." Great.
That's honestly insane. I mean, France wants you on side, right? But like, geez, wow, that is fantastic for you.
That's giving me everything. And I'm hoping that, but I still want to EG. Like, yes, France is telling me this, but I'm happy to use this and abuse it and just push France. France isn't going to build an army, so I look at it. If I build fleet Berlin, right, not and army Kiel, so only the one fleet, and the fleet's going against Russia because like I want to build the extra fleet to be useful, but I don't want to scare England. So let's put the fleet down, and then I'm going to go for Sweden. Then I'll put England in Belgium, and then we have an easy world. And then I have 3 on Burgundy, and France can't defend it. So like next year, this is going to be a breeze. I'm so happy with this opening.
Yeah, and really worth pointing out here is that if France builds 2 fleets here and has to give up Belgium, whether that be through voluntarily giving it up or you guys just forcing it, right? Then they only have 1 more build in reserve. They go for Portugal, but they don't get a build off of that because they're losing Belgium as well. So as long as you can keep them contained and they don't get out into like England or slip into Munich or something, which they shouldn't if you've got reasonable tactics, they will never be able to build a 3rd army. So if you've got that line of 3 armies against them, they have no way to stop it, right? That should work out really well for you.
Absolutely. And then in the north, since we kept Russia to 1 build, and sources say that it's not going to be in St. Petersburg, this is just great news for us in the north as well. So like I'm as far as O1s go, feels like a dream for like negotiations at the end of O1 for me, and then we can go to winter and we can take a look at the full board to see how things look.
And France does put down those 2 fleets, and Russia doesn't put down a unit in St. Petersburg. England has Fleet London, You've got Fleet Berlin. Yeah, that is looking absolutely beautiful.
Right, and this just looks like, aren't we set up for just such a perfect EG, right? Isn't this just everything?
Yeah, I cannot find fault with this position at all. I really like this.
Yeah, for Germany, right? Obviously, everything is me-centric for the start of this game. And then we can see in the east, we can see that Turkey did really good tactics last phase. Like even though Austria and Italy went for these really aggressive moves into Aegean, by backing out of Smyrna the way that Turkey did, Turkey's very pro-Russia, so trying to keep Russia on side for a juggernaut to hold, and left Smyrna open for this fleet build in the south. A common mistake that Turkeys make is they leave an army in Smyrna, or they don't put the 2nd fleet down in the south, and so that leaves Turkey completely exposed. Like this, though, even though Austria and Italy are coordinating, Turkey's not going to get cracked particularly quickly like this. This is still going to be a slog if it's a juggernaut. If Russia flips, then suddenly Turkey's got Turkey's going to collapse quickly. And hence why it's so important that the army goes to Syria as opposed to Armenia, where it's just, hey, I'm stopping a convoy. I'm not harassing Russia.
Yes.
That said, this spring is where everything starts going wrong.
Uh-oh. Do we
didn't last that long. Sorry?
Do I move forward to the spring then?
Yeah, we can move forward to the spring, or I can talk about my negotiation with England first. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. So, England didn't want to attack Russia as part of the EG, and I knew that Russia was getting everyone to attack me.
Okay, yeah, I see a big potential issue.
Yeah, it's spring of 02, and we've got 3 armies walking to the line from Austria, Italy, Russia.
That is something you never want to see as Germany. I've definitely seen it before, but God, this is when things are going too well for you and everyone on the board decides it's time to ruin your day, right?
Basically just Ed.
Well, I mean, Ed and Gordon and Spedio, right? And Jeff.
Yeah, but Ed's the reason this all happened. Come
on. Right.
And frustratingly enough, also England. So with England didn't want to attack Russia as part of our EG. And so what we've been talking about this whole time of like, I get Sweden and we put England into Belgium, and then like England goes and helps me in the north against Russia, and I work with England in the west against France. Kingred really wanted me to be the one to take Belgium, and did not want, and wanted him to be the one to take Sweden. And just positionally, I don't like the way this looks at all. I knew that Russia was sending Moscow south because I knew that the AAR that Russia had flipped off of Turkey into an AAR against Turkey. I could have also known that they were then going after me, but I didn't expect that because I was naive. But I was like, okay, so Russia is moving south, so I just told Kingred he can take St. Petersburg, because if you notice, if Norway walks into St. Petersburg, he just gets it this phase. And so I'm like, look, you take St. Petersburg, I'll put you in Belgium, and then I'll take Sweden, and then everything will be glorious, and Kingred didn't want to do that. So as a result, I'm like, well, okay, everyone wants me to take Belgium, right? Everyone on the board wants me to do that, so I'm going to keep taking Belgium. But I need to change my tactics in the north. I can't just walk into Ruhr from Kiel the way that I want to. I need to send an extra unit into the north to actually secure Scandinavia. Because I don't I want to get a dot up there, and I'm not going to just, I don't know. I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing. So I do this pretty aggressive northern opening, this move to Skagerrak. And sending an army to Denmark when you have 3 on Munich in the spring feels pretty stupid.
Yeah. I mean, on the plus side, even if Kiel had held there, you wouldn't have kept Munich anyway, right? Unless the French help you. Maybe the French do help you, actually.
And France has said that they'll do everything they can to help me because they are so apologetic for the opening. So it's like, I mean, maybe, but shrugs, whatever.
Well, I mean, now you really do need that Scandinavian dot because you are definitely losing Munich. So you need the one to replace it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely is a strong word, right? Because Italy doesn't have to put... I hear that Austria is the one who's getting Munich. And Italy doesn't have to put Austria into Munich, right? Italy could do something else.
Italy could just go to Vienna. That would be very nice for you.
That would be great for me. But Spedio was nice and condescending to me this phase, and he was like, "Wow, I can't believe you left yourself wide open for a stab like this. You shouldn't let people have good stabs on you." And I was like, of all the things to say, are you kidding me?
Oh dear.
That part got under my skin. So here we are. I'm trying to survive. I don't like this position, but in the East, right, the AIR is going to have a great time, right? Like Russia's in the Black Sea, Turkey lost Bulgaria. Like this looks, yeah, I mean, Turkey just can't survive against this. This is crushing.
Yeah, I think a big reason that this happens is that you bounce Russia out of Sweden, right? Because if Russia has two builds, they could probably prop Turkey up and still have like a decent position. But if Russia only has one build here and are in a pretty desperate situation, right, where they could get run down by England, Germany quite easily. They do need to make the move that gets them dots very quickly and resolves the East very quickly, right? Which is exactly what they're doing down here. I mean, maybe they do this anyway. Maybe they just go in for the gang up on Turkey, because it happens in so many games regardless, right? But I do think it's kind of forced after not getting into Sweden. You can't hold the Juggernaut line and still have a good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, did you have anything more to say on this phase? Or I assume France is your one true friend at this point.
France seems like the only person on the board who isn't trying to take my dots right now. So that's good. Or I'm trying to take theirs, because I think of Sweden and Norway as English dots. My question to you, Meme, is the tactics. I wish we could have a clean map to make things easier to tell. Or if we had the web-dip map where you could see where all the units were,
Hang on.
to try to do the read. Because
I can do this. I can do this.
Oh, you're gonna do a sandbox from current phase or whatever?
Yeah, let me just submit. There we go. Oh, there's a retreat that goes into Constantinople, right?
Yes, that does go into Con. It does not go off the board.
And the Italian Aegean goes into the Eastern Mediterranean.
Yes.
Not that those units matter for what's going on tactically. Okay, so here's our sandbox.
Yeah, you're Germany. What tactics do you go for here? France is on side. France claims to be on side anyways. And everyone else is sending you daggers.
Okay, you do have to trust that France is on side, because if France is not on side, you're dead regardless, right? There's am I allowed to negotiate with the other powers here, or am I just assuming they are all killing me?
Well, I mean, you're allowed to negotiate with them however you want, but you've got all of them saying they're sending shrug emojis back at you. And things like get stuffed.
Gotcha.
It's not literally that bad, but it's close.
So there's like an instinct. So the very first thing I wanted to do is this, right? Have the French support me to Munich, just in case these three don't all go for Munich. But the downside to that is you can't also cover Holland in a way that makes sure that you can keep Belgium at the same time. So you've got to choose between one of these two, right? And England may well be trying to convoy into Holland. I feel like I would expect England to go this way, just because there is that possibility of doing that, right? And they're probably not going to move Sweden back to Norway to cover, just because they do want that dot there. God. Maybe because they could do this, you just YOLO it into Norway and hope that works. That seems always wrong, right? Okay, then no, the safest moveset is probably self-bounce in Holland and then just try and do a triple attack into Sweden, something akin to this. I'm doing it this way round because there is also the possibility of Yorkshire getting convoyed into Denmark, which would be pretty devastating if you do it if you go up from Denmark, because then they get that unit adjacent to Kiel and behind you. But all in all, there's not really a good moveset here, right? You have to, and even if I do it this way, then they could do this. And then take Berlin and Munich both, and then you're so screwed. Okay, no, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna order to Munich with this one and ask for the French support. This one holds, so we leave Holland completely open. We just say, you know what, England, do what you want with Yorkshire. You can only take one of the dots, right? And so you just YOLO Denmark through anyway. And then you get the best position you can out of Scandinavia as a result of that. I don't know about that. That just, you can't separate your army that far. Okay, I'm going way too much back and forth on this, so I'm gonna lock this in. This is my moveset. Is this anything close to your moveset?
Well, I agree with you about what Ruhr should do.
Okay.
Actually, and I agree with you about Denmark and Baltic. No, not quite. No, I don't agree at all. Actually, but it was look, Ruhr. I agree with you about Ruhr.
Oh, actually,
but I like taking from Baltic rather than from Denmark.
I kind of like this.
And then let me show you. Go to the actual moves. You can see the actual game.
Okay. I was going to say
double supporting into Sweden.
I actually kind of like the move up to Norway if we're doing it this way and just leaving Holland open, because Yorkshire can only cover, like, it can go to Holland, or it can go to Denmark, or it can cover Norway. So as no matter where it's going, you're getting some small win out of where it's not going. But hey, let's go back and see what the actual result was here. Oh, you do take the Norway move.
I just walk in the Norway. Yeah, in the previous one you had Denmark. You were using Skager to take Sweden as well, which would have worked. Not technically. So what England did, you see North Sea has a convoy order it.
Sweden.
England actually convoyed Yorkshire to Syria, I think. Wait. Right? Oh no, it didn't.
No, it cut.
Oh, there was different
Denmark. The big thing
here
it cut
is Denmark, yeah.
My moveset would have actually failed against this as long as England input the right order on Sweden, because it does a meme convoy, but if it supported this convoy over instead, then if Denmark is the attacker, then it does actually dislodge Denmark, because Denmark fails to dislodge Sweden, and an attacker doesn't cut support against the place it doesn't cut support against itself unless it dislodges the unit completely. So Sweden would have held thanks to the support hold, it would have had a successful support on this convoy, and Denmark would have fallen. So you did it the correct way around here, even though that doesn't actually matter because England didn't enter the right order on Sweden.
Yeah. But yeah, this phase was a scary one to me, because if France doesn't support me back into Munich, and if France just supports himself into Belgium, and if England, let's say, convoys into Holland, and if Russia just walks into Berlin, then I could have lost a whole lot of centers this turn.
Yep.
I think I would have been down to 3. But instead, I got the guesses right, and everything worked out just fine, tactically. And so I actually get to build here, despite losing Munich this phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I took Belgium, and France is still on side. And so this phase, like this, despite how bad everything looked in the spring, this fall phase was great for me tactically. Then, more importantly, let's shift our eyes down to the east, excuse me, and you'll see that Austria is not Italy's friend.
Yeah, well, that must have been satisfying after what Italy said to you earlier. But
it was so nice. I was so happy.
I don't really understand the Austrian play here, though, because you were getting a build for free out of Bulgaria. Is the idea to pivot this into an AT? But then...
Sure as hell looks like it, doesn't it?
But then you got
right, because they're doing this bounce in Bulgaria. Exactly, right? They're doing this bounce in Bulgaria. And so they're denying Russia this build. Because if they just gone for the tactics that Russia wanted, right, then Austria takes Constantinople, Russia gets Bulgaria, so Russia gets a build. It would have been neutralized by Armenia walking into Sevastopol, but Turkey still gets cooked. It still would have absolutely crushed. But instead, Austria completely flipped the script, and it looks like Austria is setting up a pretty late. I mean, it's only 02, but like a late AT, and this position could be really good. And the fact that Russia is not getting a build from the south is great news for me, obviously, because Russia used Silesia to help Austria into Munich, so this feels kind of good.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone in the East is going to go, okay, we need to be in Murder Austria mode now, which means they are no longer anti-you, because you have an Austrian buffer between you and them, right?
Well, there's just an Austrian. There's a higher priority target, right? There's not necessarily a buffer, but just they got to go after somebody else first, and that's good enough for me.
Yes. And if France does stay on your side, I think that's actually a really decent situation for you, at least out of the position that you've gotten now, right? Also, considering Russia didn't manage to get a build, so they're not putting anything down in St. Petersburg, and you've got the unit in Norway, that looks pretty good. I'm honestly surprised at how good it looked after the last turn.
Right? This fall was like one of the biggest flips of any game I've seen, right? The spring was so bad for me, but this fall was incredible.
This went surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Shall we go through to winter? Do you have anything else to talk about on this one?
I don't think so. We're making really good time.
Okay. All right, winter. Well, now we got to do the power rankings, and I assume you're going to put me in charge of power rankings again because you know how the game ends, right?
I know how everything goes this game. I can probably tell you every move from memory. I think. So
okay.
Do it.
The very first thing I'm gonna do is keep France in first place. Because they have the France bonus, right? They've managed to get their preferred alliance with you. The rest of the board has kind of put you in a position where you want to be their ally now. And they're the ones who have the jump on England if they want to go for England. They're also the ones who have the jump on you if they want to go for you, right? On Belgium, they've got 3 units on Belgium now. And they just seem to be in a really good position. Italy's not going to attack them anytime soon. Italy just lost a dot as well, so isn't getting another fleet build. Just generally seems like a really nice France position. There you go. There's the meme, like, completely unexpected power ranking. France at the top in 1902. I wonder if we went back over all of our commentaries, how many of them have France in the top position after 1902? What would be your prediction on the number of them, on the percentage of them?
At least half.
That is almost certainly true. Okay, second place gets a little bit more difficult. Because Austria obviously has the biggest position here. It's not actually enormous SC count wise, right? They're only on 6. And that's actually the same number that you have? Really?
Hell yeah, it is.
Okay. But they just made the big stabs. They've pivoted hard into an alliance with Turkey, and I just don't see an incredible payoff to that. Russia doesn't have the units in position to defend it, to be fair. But I think I would still put you above the Austrian, just because you have this opponent in England who has their units split up there. You have good position on them. Russia is probably going to keep throwing England help with Bothnia, but maybe you can convince him to not, in return for helping him deal with Austria or something. And just generally, I think that the FG in this can outrace anything that's happening in the East, because the East is going to be in complete chaos for a while, right? I do not like the Italian position at all. I do not like the Russian position at all. I don't like the English position. So I'm going to move those 3 to the bottom, which makes... Is Turkey that high up? With enemy units in Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean? I think they actually are, though, because they've managed to change the dynamic here and save themselves.
At least they have an ally, whereas previously they had none, right?
Yeah, and they actually have their choice of ally, because after you flip someone in a triple like this, you don't necessarily need to take the side of the person you flipped, right? You can go to the other people and go, hey, this person flipped on you, I'll join your side and go wipe them out. And the other people can be more than willing to let that happen, right?
Which is incredibly dirty for what it's worth, because obviously Austria stab is the one that saved Turkey here. And so then Turkey then flipping and going to both Russia and Italy and saying, hey, I'll help you kill the guy who just saved me. Right. That's a bad feeling. But also, you got to do what you got to do to stay alive.
They're diplomacy players, right? This is a final on a huge board. I think they'd be willing to play it a little bit brutally if they feel they need to. So yeah, I am going to keep Austria in third and Turkey in fourth. What order am I putting the other ones in? England isn't terrible if France flips on you, but I don't know that France does. I think France has more to gain from just going into England here and trying to resolve the West as quickly as possible. I don't love the Italian or Russian positions either, though. Like, if this AT does stick together, they don't have the units in position to defend themselves. Russia is slightly more defensible than Italy in this position, I think. Just because they've got Black Sea there, and all the Turkish fleets are out south. So I will put... I don't know, I'm gonna do it in this order. And not talk through too much more, because I will go on forever. This is why we usually have you do the power rankings.
Because I'm decisive and make decisions quickly.
Yeah, you are decisive and concise. That is the important thing to be, and I still need to learn that.
You might be the first person who's ever called me concise.
I mean, compared to me, you are, right? Alright,
yeah, because I only spent 10 minutes analyzing instead of 15.
Shall we go to spring 1903?
Yeah, we can. Let's go to the spring.
Okie dokie, spring 1903.
So this was a fun one.
That is a really good turn. Well done.
Yeah, so Austria told me that he wasn't going to defend Munich, so that's great news. So perfectly happy with that.
Also, doesn't retreat into Berlin despite having the option to. Although I can understand why he doesn't, given that you have 3 units on your right.
Yes, yeah, and given that he's ostensibly going to be a friend, so this retreat phase was the most interesting retreat phase I've had in a minute. You'll notice that England disbands the fleet in Sweden.
Instead of going Skagerrak, that's huge.
This was a very big deal to me. For obvious reasons. If that fleet's in Skagerrak, that fleet is going to be messing with me. I'm in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And so getting this disband is absolutely massive. I promised to put England and Belgium in exchange for this, and by taking from Norway, I put less pressure on England. So this is good. I have also promised to put France in Belgium this phase from Burgundy. Okay. France notably is set up to go for a convoy, and France has a guaranteed convoy into Clyde. So France is expecting to get Belgium to get a rebuild, stay defensive on the mainland, whilst extending pretty aggressively against England. So that's fun. And then, yes. So first question for Austria: would you, as Germany, want to see Austria in Bohemia or Tyrolia?
I would like them to do anything that continues attacking Italy and Russia. I think I slightly prefer if they manage to kill Russia over Italy, just because Russia is going to be a pain to me as well. Italy is never going to be a pain to me, right? Well, I mean, they already have been, but they probably won't be again. So I would...
They're focused on Austria, whereas Russia, I think, can do other things, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I prefer that they go to Bohemia and help push Cilicia out. That might make more sense there, but I don't think it matters all that much to me in that situation. Then again, I'm not like considering it like I would a top board. I would probably spend a lot more time thinking about this if I was actually playing a final.
I think your analysis is reasonable and it's good. My preference was Tyrolia because I feel like I actually need there to be pressure on France. And given the war in the south, if Austria and Italy just fight like this, there will never be pressure on France in the south. Right?
That's fair.
This Austrian stab, I need to get resolved one way or the other. I need Austria to win or I need Italy to win, and I need that to happen ASAP. And given the tactics in the south, this retreat to Tyrolia guarantees that Venice gets captured, right? There's nothing else that can support hold Venice,
and that's
which surprised me.
That's actually extremely important as well, because it stops Italy from being able to rebuild this unit at home and support Ionian to stop. Well, I mean, they're going to lose Ionian anyway, but put more fleets down to lock up this line again that goes through into France. Although they could just take Venice off and then rebuild it as a fleet, which feels really, really bad because you're never getting Venice back if you do that. But at the same time, you've got an army.
Maybe it gets Austria to leave you alone.
Like, yeah, your position is terrible anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. The tactics from the AT in the east are pretty sad, right? Turkey letting Russia into Constantinople with this guess is brutal. And then having Armenia tap Sevastopol to help Austria take Romania, I think, rather than walking back to Ankara. Like, if Armenia walks to Ankara here, and then Turkey in the fall is able to retake Constantinople and cover the retreat into Smyrna, I think the Turkish position is still, like, playable. But as is, right, they need to use Bulgaria to retake Khan and Aegean, and they need to cover Ankara and Smyrna, which means that there's no way to both retake Constantinople and force Ionian this phase. That's a brutal tactical position. Like, if Aegean was free, right, then they could still cover Smyrna and then take Ionian and force it, and then Italy gets resolved quickly. So
yeah,
in light of me wanting Italy to get resolved fast, I always preferred Tyrolia. But after the fact, I was told by Italy, so grain of salt, that if Austria had gone to Bohemia, he was going to be very hostile to Russia for the long run. And similarly, do you expect Austria to attack Russia this phase? worth asking.
Yes, 100%. They're locked in with Turkey, right?
Something that seemed obvious to me, right? This is clearly like Galicia, Budapest, Serbia, right? You're gonna force Romania. This is absolutely great. You've got this like, Russia's got to cover Warsaw, so you can just like walk to Ukraine, take Romania. This is glorious. I mean. Maybe Bohemia to then cover the Galicia retreat, actually.
You also...
whatever. Anyways, point is, like...
You also have to be aware that you can't always make that assumption when your opponent is Ed Sullivan. Because he has a, like, magical way of getting people on his side who really shouldn't be on his side, and I've seen that way too many times. So I would not be surprised if you are about to tell me that Austria just decides not to attack Russia for no reason whatsoever.
Austria decides not to attack Russia for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, absolutely. At least he tells me that, right? So he like says during, like, he retreats to Tyrolia, he does this attack on, he tells me he's going to go for Italy. Notably, this phase, again, crazy. So he tells me he's going to take he's going to take Venice from Trieste, right? Now, I'm looking at this position and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want Italy to retreat into Rome from Venice, right? I would much rather Italy be out of Venice, walking into, let's say, Tyrolia, Piedmont, wherever, than Austria walks into Venice behind and then has a free walk to Rome. This Italian position is so much less defensible if the army does not retreat back. So I'm sitting here saying, oh, this is amazing. I talk with Spedio and I'm like, hey, Spedio, I will support Venice into Tyrolia. So you should make that attack, because I think that Austria is going from Tyrolia, right? That's the tactical guess that I claim that we're defending against, because notably it is, I think, whatever. They're both pretty likely, but this is what I tell Spedio. That's what I'm doing with Munich, and I don't want Munich to be tapping Tyrolia, because if Austria does take from Tyrolia and Munich gets into Tyrolia, then I don't capture Munich, right? So I really, really don't want to be moving out of Munich, so I don't want to go for the tap. So I offered to support him up, and I expect him to take it. My thinking being that then Italy ends up in Tyrolia, then Austria ends up in Venice, and in my dream, Austria would retreat into Piedmont, and then, hey, based on that, then is putting pressure on Marseille, which is great, or walks into Tuscany and then looks to take Rome, right? So that's the dream. If there's an Italian army in Tyrolia, it probably retreats to like Vienna or Trieste, and then everything's fine. But like, yeah. So
I'm gonna say I really, really hope you talk to Austria about this, because I would understand if you didn't, in that maybe Austria would prefer that there's no Italian unit there so that he doesn't have to cover. But I would hope that Austria would be able to see the advantage of this, of like pulling the army out of Italy so that it can't be defending these HSCs. I think there is a world where Austria would just agree to and say, hey, that sounds like a good idea to me, right?
Yeah.
If you did this
would that I had better communication with Austria. He told me he's going from Trieste, man. People don't lie in diplomacy.
You didn't.
Why would he lie about this?
And
also, frankly, if he is lying to me about this, maybe I don't want to help him take a dot. Okay. Maybe if he lies to me and then I counter the lied move, maybe that's what I should do. I don't know.
Shall we move to the next turn? Because I'm fairly sure I know what's going to happen.
Oh, it's bad. Also, just a quick note. If you're Germany and you know that Austria isn't attacking Russia here, do you think you should fight Russia? Do you think you should just keep fighting Russia or not?
I mean, you don't really... What do you mean by fight Russia? There's no supply centers of Russian you can take, right? Anyway.
Well, I mean... Okay, hold up. First of all, I can convoy to Livonia.
Oh, right? That's true. That would be huge. But then look at England. Like,
second of all, I could take Bothnia, right? I could just support myself from Baltic up to Bothnia, right?
Yeah. I think I would at least say to Russia, hey, can you take your Bothnia fleet off? I'm going to go dislodge it. And, like, make that part of
I made that pitch. And then Ed was like, fuck you, give me Sweden or we're at war.
Okay. And this was after he saw that England didn't retreat to Skagerrak? Because it's worth noting,
after the disband, baby.
After
the disband. His line was like, not all of us are weak-willed fools. You can't get everyone to do your bidding, you conniving little shit. I forget his exact language. And to be clear, everything with Ed was in good fun. Like, Ed and I were not friends on the board, but it was just funny. Like, every time it was great. But
I really want to point out here, because I don't think we mentioned it while we were talking about the Sweden disband. You just said that if Sweden goes to Scandinavia, it messes with your backline, right? With your Scandinavia in general. If it goes to
guarantees
Skagerrak,
Norway.
But it guarantees Norway. They would have guaranteed a dot, and he had the choice to do that, and he decided, no, I'm going to stick to my word with Germany. That is kind of
because England knows that if he's fighting me and France, he's dead, right? He needs me on side. And I've offered to give him Belgium. And if he doesn't do this, if he takes Norway, he doesn't get Belgium.
That's true, but is he getting Belgium anyway? I'm curious which side you take here. Especially given that you've said that you probably aren't going to attack Russia. Maybe you do just jump in on France. Is that correct? That can't be correct.
I'm glad I could keep you guessing. Because if you don't know the answer, then there's no way that anyone knew the answer.
You can't attack France here, right? You've got one unit on their border. They've got Burgundy. Like, how do you attack France here? There's no way. I don't know what else you do. Do you just slow play it if you're not going to attack Russia? But I'm interested to see anyway. Shall we move ahead to fall?
Yeah, go look at the moves.
You do put... Okay. So, let me get this straight. You have stabbed France for -1 dot here.
This is one of my all-time great stabs. Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, you didn't trust England, so... no, you deliberately give... You deliberately give Sweden to Russia.
Ed told me, give me Sweden or fuck you. And I said, all right, fine, you can have Sweden.
Why would you ever do that? You don't
Because I'm bad at the game. Because Austria is not attacking Russia, right? And if Austria tells me he's not attacking Russia, then I need to actually make a pitch to Russia that I can be a reasonable ally here. Look, man, I've got a reputation for being a dot-hungry, grubby bastard, and I'm not.
Okay, but there is a really important thing here, though, which is that Russia is, especially if Austria isn't attacking them, Russia is always going to build, right? If you let them into Sweden here, they have so much pressure on Norway. You've just pulled your ally out of the North Sea as well. Like, either way, you don't have an ally in the North Sea, because if you leave him in the North Sea, then you're not giving him Belgium, so you've broken your word to him. You should really just not support either of them and then say, oh, darn, that was...
Oops.
Yeah, that was so
misordered.
But, like, you deny yourself a build here and give Russia a better position against you. I don't understand it.
Oh yeah, no. If I just like walk Kiel to Ruhr and then do nothing with Holland, and then I hold to Sweden, I build 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for covering Berlin. I think that's correct, but you gotta stay in Sweden.
Yeah.
He had nothing in the north.
Oh yeah, this is terrible. This is the worst move I've done in a game of diplomacy in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Since the last Olympus finals, in fact.
With the wave? Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I made some pretty bad moves this last year, which are not going to be covered on this channel. But I don't know. This phase, right, of just let's watch Ezio give away 2 dots. It's me. What am I doing?
I think
like, did somebody else control, like, take over my PC? Like, what happened here?
Clearly, you are trying to like clear your
Italy,
reputation as a dot.
Yeah, this is me. This is how I save my reputation, or damage my reputation, because no one's gonna see me as a decent player anymore. If I keep doing moves like this, like, what the hell, man? Oh god. But yeah, and then let's take a look at what happens around Tyrolia, shall we?
Yep, that was. Wait, hang on. You get tapped. Oh god.
Yeah.
So now Austria thinks you're his enemy.
Oh yeah.
Ouch.
And Venice retreats to Rome. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I understand why Austria went in from Tyrolia here, because with the Russian tap, this is the way that 100% guarantees it. The other way, he's got to trust you, right? Not to tap.
Yeah, to not tap.
The fact that he doesn't trust you in Tyrolia and is going to Bohemia makes me think that he was probably lining up to attack you either way, especially being friendly with Russia at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say, if you think that Russia's doing this, why not just take Warsaw?
That's true, actually.
Like, what?
As Austria, if you do just go into Warsaw on this turn, your position is pretty damn good, I think.
If you just take Warsaw and Romania, because Turkey, the way that it worked out, actually, Turkey and Italy actually stabbed Austria here, and I have no idea what went wrong. I suspect that Gordon, like, told Banana that he was gonna not work with him anymore, because how Gordon did it was, like, he would tell you he was stabbing you and then would stab you. Like, I have no idea how he did it, but I don't know. Point was, maybe I don't know who sabotaged the relationship in the south, but it looks like Russia was working with Austria against Turkey. Turkey was trying to work with both Italy and Russia against Austria. I think doing the thing that you said, where, hey, Austria just stabbed both of you guys, I will work with you two against Austria, and like Russia had his pick in the south, right? With Romania, he could have taken Serbia, right?
Yes. I think Russia's position is really, really good now.
Oh yeah, I think being given Sweden, and holding on to Constantinople instead of it being forced is really good. Like, Bulgaria and Aegean could have forced Constantinople, but instead it forced Greece, which is bad for Austria, very good for Russia. So Austria this phase gained Munich. Lost Munich, gained Venice, lost Greece. So not a good year for Austria, but gained Bulgaria. Still neutral. Russia's +2.
Yep.
Germany's neutral. Italy's down 1, but already popped. And then the West is all set. So I'm pretty sure the only person building on this board is Russia. And I just let him walk into Sweden.
Yep.
Hey, but maybe he's going to be friends. I gave him Sweden after all. Right? Like,
I have a feeling that is not going to be the case, but hey.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Ed walked into this game saying, I think that Ezio's the biggest threat to me on this board, so he was going to spend his game trying to not let me win.
Did you know that he walked in saying that?
No, but I have since learned.
I was gonna say,
I let that guy walk into Sweden.
If you came in knowing that, then that makes this even worse.
Oh, if I knew that at the start of the game, then it would make the bounce to Sweden make a lot more sense, and it would make this move with Sweden just the biggest joke in the world.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, I think I can guess where things are going here. You also mentioned that Austria will tell you outright, whether he is going to attack you or not on the next turn. So I have a feeling he is next turn going to tell you, I am attacking you. Right.
Oh, I don't think he messages me this phase.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well then. That's
this
pretty bad.
This phase hurt, man. Because I don't know. I love ATs as Austria. When Turkey is down to one army, that's like my dream. And so I would have been ecstatic. Or like here as Austria, just like walking into Warsaw like this unopposed would just be the biggest coup. I would be so happy about it. Yeah. Ah, well.
Well, alright, we will see how things go. You also see what I mean with, like, if you had talked to Austria about this situation, even though it probably results in exactly the same moveset, because as Austria, I would also be inclined to say to Russia, hey, go tap Munich for me, please. But, like, if you chat to Austria about doing this beforehand, then it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it does now, right?
Man, being better at diplomacy would make you have better results in the diplomacy board.
I mean, it's also being said with hindsight, right? But hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we go to winter?
Let's do it.
Alright, see where Russia puts their hard-won builds. Army St. Petersburg. Yep.
Wow, but I just no. That's supposed to be in Moscow. No, that's a misorder. That's not supposed to be in St. Petersburg. No way. That's completely inaccurate. Also, England wanted me to send Kiel to Ruhr last phase, by the way, and I told him he had to build his fleet in London. And I just gave him Belgium at the expense of my alliance with France. If I don't give England this build, then he's like losing Liverpool. He's completely dead this year. So I kind of assumed he was going to do what I wanted, and then he builds this fleet in Edinburgh. Ouch. And it's at this moment that I realized I've lost the game.
That, doesn't seem great. I mean, I can see why he puts Fleet Edinburgh, right? Is to try and corral and destroy Army Clyde, presumably. Although, can you even manage to do that? Because North Atlantic can just continuously support Hull. You need the German fleet to come in and help you, and that's not going to happen because a certain German put Russia into Sweden.
Man, God, wow, what a great decision that German made. Man, that was really like forward thinking and planning, saying, this enemy's too weak for me. Let's make him much stronger at my own expense.
This fight is dishonorable. I must strengthen my opponent.
I mean, didn't he have... I feel like he had 5 dots, right? But now he's got 7 and I've only got 6, so now it's unfair.
Yeah.
In his favor.
You should ask him for Sweden back. I'm sure he'll just let you
I do, actually.
Okay. Okay, please tell me that you at least say, hey, let's swap Sweden and Norway, so try and push his fleet out and onto the front line, because I feel like that's the way that... I mean, I doubt he accepts it either way because you've.
Well, no, he was supposed to back out of Silesia last phase, and so Ed's like, "What are you talking about, dude? Of course I'm gonna fight you. What? Like?
Oh god.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's not looking great. Is there anything else you want to say about this? This phase before we move ahead?
I wish I was better at diplomacy. Let's go to the spring.
Like, on the plus side, I don't know if you would have had a better... Well, okay, you would have had a better chance of winning. But if you hadn't let the Sweden thing happen, and maybe if you kept France on side as well, then France gets incredibly powerful incredibly quickly, right? Because they're going to bulldoze England. You don't have the units on that front to grab stuff there. And you're going to be locked fighting probably an Austria-Russia alliance because Austria told you that they're going to be working with Russia at the same time. That doesn't feel like a winning position either. It probably has a better shot than this.
Yeah, and if I can like let France get really strong before I die, then I actually have a good argument to the east of like you need someone to keep France in check, and if you kill me, France wins. So back off, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas by letting them be strong, it's like, oh, they can actually potentially race and they can kill me so quickly that there's no incentive to keep me around. They can deal with France themselves. Right.
Yeah.
Especially by propping up England simultaneously. So it looks like France might be slowed down significantly, right? France is only on 5 right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Setting the board up for my own demise while sacrificing my own growth, whilst giving everyone no reason to keep me in the game. This is why whenever I say take dot, just do it and then deal with the ramifications later. Because when you do shit like this, like I just did, it's bad. It's always bad. And if I had just followed my own stupid advice, man, it would have been so much better. But I'm so bad at the game.
Okay, I'm assuming that going into this next phase, you try and get France back on side because England didn't do what you wanted to, right? Maybe offer them
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my plan was to put England and Belgium anyways, right? There was a thing I forgot to mention. There was a I told France about getting England to disband Sweden, and France was not happy about that at all. And then France went to Italy to get as much pressure on England as possible to try to get Italy to keep Skagerrak on the board. And I'm like, dude, it's just better if our enemy disbands the unit. This is ridiculous. Like, England keeping Skagerrak on the board means that I lose Norway. So just don't pitch that. That's bad. And France, of course, was not. France didn't care. He was like, no, England shouldn't do that. That's ridiculous, and it's good for you. It's absurd. It's bad for our alliance. How dare you do that? How dare you get England to do that? Because that's destabilizing to our alliance.
Yeah, that's okay. I can then more see why you put England into Belgium, because if you have an ally who's saying that, I mean, maybe from France's perspective it looks more reasonable, but France is absolutely getting every dot in the British Isles regardless of whether you were doing this or not, right? And that the like England then having pressure on Norway and being able to take Norway just means that France gets these dots before you've managed to resolve Scandinavia. That's such an unbalanced alliance.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so part of it was like a pettiness thing of like, oh, you want England to deny a dot to your ally. Let me show you what England denying a dot to your ally looks like.
Just don't do that and simultaneously give a center to your enemy.
I mean, yeah, but like if Russia had actively backed out of Silesia and moved it into Warsaw to cover, like I thought like a sane person would do, and if Austria had just like taken Romania, if there weren't also Austrian and Russian armies in Silesia and Bohemia hostile to me, this position's still fine. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I've pissed France off, but like I can resolve the West. I can like, yes, there's a hostile army in St. Petersburg that maybe shouldn't be there, but like I can still trade Sweden for Norway. Everything will be okay. Like the position is still fine. It's just no, Austria and Russia are also pressuring Munich at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because I'm bad.
Well, all right. Shall we see what the spring is looking like?
Yeah.
All right. I have a feeling this is not going to look good. Yeah, that indeed. Well, you did try and put France into Belgium, and it looks like France has decided to kill you. And they don't even bother killing England anymore. That's rough.
And England doesn't even bother making defensive moves. I just put England in Belgium, and the fucker has the audacity to stab me the next fucking face. This bastard.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, on the flip side of that, you did try and put France into his dot but I assume
because he built in Edinburgh.
Yeah, okay.
Like, shit. Anyways.
This is really not good.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how fucked would you say I
am? Is there hope for you at all?
Oh,
come on. It's
I'm
a good position
dead.
When you're asking that question.
But look, it's not literally dead. All right, I've still got 6 units on the board. There's play.
No, but you have every single neighbor attacking you. Literally every single neighbor, and they're letting each other go past their dots, and like they're not taking the. This is so bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Yep.
Oh dear. Okay. Well,
this is also when I go on vacation to Fiji, by the way.
Okay, I see. I'm gonna go ahead and say 8 on the scale of how screwed are you. On the plus side, the Russian put their fleet into Norway, which I'm sure was a 100% agreed way of demilitarizing the area, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And him tapping Berlin was a love tap, right? Just like, when you pat your SO when you're nearby, just to make sure they can know that everything's good. That's how that was. Yep.
100%.
Yep. We're good. We're buddies.
Okay.
We are. I think we're still sending a couple of jokes, but not many. I get a little depressed this phase.
I can't imagine why.
Yep.
Okay, so this is like a very good demonstration of what can happen in diplomacy when everyone decides to kill you. It doesn't matter what your position is in that case, unless you're France.
But my position would have been so much better if I just played for a strong position instead of playing for alliances that can still shoot you in the ass, right?
This is true. See, I don't know whether that is,
That's my takeaway. I'm gonna never give away a dot again.
No, genuinely... Ever. I think what I was about to say there is I don't know whether that is just nerves from the top board coming in and stopping you from playing your usual strategy, or these players are better, therefore my usual strategy won't work, therefore I need to try something fancy. And you should just trust yourself.
I don't know, man. I just felt like there was no way I was going to win if this happened. And I just felt like this was going to happen to me, right? So I needed to do something to get things to flip. But I think my approach should have instead been, I just need to be as strong as possible if everyone's going to attack me, and hope that time passes and they get pissed at each other, and then I can weather it out by being on top at the start, as opposed to trying to appease them and letting them just capitalize.
Yeah.
Anyways, if we look at the rest of the board, we can see that this Austria-Russia alliance looks really stable. They did a really good job demilitarizing with Romania walking back up to Ukraine. Look at that. And then Russia's in the Black Sea and Aegean. I will say, my pitch to Austria, even at this phase, before the spring went through, is that once Russia builds the second fleet in Sevastopol, Austria has really lost all rights to ever claiming a dot from Turkey. Right? Yeah. There's just no way that Austria, even if Russia lets Austria take Constantinople, Austria will not hold it. And since this is a top board, right, only the winner benefits. A dot that you can only hold at the behest of someone else is fake. In different formats and places with most tournament scoring, where a strong result actually is fine, then having these, that's a much more useful dot to have, because you can legitimately say Russia and I will be allies until the end, and that's a reasonable bet to make. In this one, if you're Austrian, you're trying to win the game, how? Right? The way that Italy's working out, since you're killing Turkey like this, you're not cracking Ionian anytime soon, right?
Yeah, I think that's also a problem with how, Austria needed to rush Italy faster than this. I don't know how you rush Italy faster than this, but Italy has that barricade up now where you...
Yeah, I mean, you know how to rush Italy faster than this?
Don't attack.
Wait a minute. I feel like I spoke about that at length last phase. I feel like I set that up to make Austria's life better.
Aye.
And then didn't tell him about it, and then he didn't know that I was doing it, and then probably didn't even realize that this was better, and then yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see this is going to be a big problem for Austria in the near future. They are running out
For the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Austria needs to make a move on Russia and still can, right? If Austria moved on Russia this phase, then this move actually works out. Like you get Italy to use, you get Turkey to use their fleet in Greece to help you into Ionian, or you put Turkey into Ionian either way. But you take Ionian, and then you know that like the army doesn't get convoyed back. So you can walk into Apulia or Tuscany either way, and then you can take like you're gonna get Rome quite quickly, and then Italy falls fast, and then Turkey still needs to help you. I think Turkey would put Albania into Ionian because then Turkey's gonna go help with Constantinople. Like Turkey needs you on side. You can take Romania. You can walk back to Galicia. Like you can still hit Russia pretty hard right now and expect support. And like I think if you're trying to win as Austria, I don't know. I think your time's running out. Like, I think you had a glorious opportunity the phase before this one, but you still have a solid path here. Just like walk to Galicia, cover Budapest, take Romania. Like, it still works.
Yeah, but that's this phase specifically. Because if you're trying it in the fall, you've got what, one unit left.
Oh, it's in the fall. It's impossible,
really
right?
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to like hope he doesn't cover Romania or something to do a one daughter. But your position's not even very good.
I also just kind of assume that Russia is going to want to to arrange a bounce over Romania on this next turn anyway, because Bulgaria has nothing else to do, right? There's no need to protect Greece. There's only one enemy unit next to it. So
yeah, there might need to be something around Constantinople, but probably a bounce in Romania is just fine. So
yeah, I was thinking on Constantinople, you probably just want Aegean back to Con and then a support into Ankara.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Push that way, but
yeah, but then Bulgaria can't bounce Romania, right? If it's also supporting something in Con, but whatever. Point is, like, they can work something out clearly, and like, so the fall stab is bad, but like this spring, I think Austria still has another opportunity. But giving Russia any amount of time to consolidate against Turkey means that Russia, like, if Russia takes all of the Turkish centers, it's like there's a juggernaut. Just Russia has all of the control instead of there being any potential volatility there. Yeah. So I think, like, as Austria, I think you don't want to let that happen. And like Austria playing the way they played, they've avoided a wintergreen by getting such a good jump on Italy, and having good alliance with Russia, but they haven't like gotten themselves in a good position out of Turkey's death. Like Austria stabbed both of their allies and then reworked with them again, but like by slowing down the attack, if we look at this position that Austria's gotten themselves into now, as opposed to the one they could have had like 2 years ago when they initially stabbed Italy and Russia, like they could have just been in Constantinople already and like been a couple years ahead, and Austria would have been in position against to actually get some of the Turkey home dots with the fleet in Aegean. Like they could have had play. This position looks much, much worse.
Yeah, I agree.
All this to say, as Austria, I think attacking me is a bad idea. Like, if I'm Austria, attacking Germany here doesn't look very good because I feel like I need Russia to... I feel like if I'm going to win, I need Russia to do worse, right?
Yeah.
I feel terrible as Austria, by the way. Like, I don't like the position because as Austria, if you don't get Italy dead, right, you're in such bad shape, right? Because of what you've done with Venice. So, like, I don't know. It's a bad look anyways.
Is there anything else you want to talk about on this phase, or shall we go ahead and see the fall?
Have I told Kinger to go fuck himself yet?
Oh, God.
For this phase? No. Okay, good. Got that out of the way. Next.
All right, let's go fall 1904. Okay, well, you at least get some sathsatisfaction over seeing the French walk into Edinburgh, right?
No, I don't, because I actually need England still.
But I thought you said you didn't. You're not in the state where you just want England dead now, right?
No, I never feel that way.
Okay,
Ever.
fine.
I think that England is more useful to me alive than dead. There's There's a French fleet in the North Sea, and that's surely hostile to both of us. Except Kingred didn't feel that way and let some motherfucker take Edinburgh. Bastard.
Okay, well, you get Belgium off of him, and lose Berlin at the same time, and...
Yep, because Kiel's bad, and Denmark, and Skagerrak is bad, and I'm bad. This was not a good tactical phase.
I don't know, like...
the downside of being drunk on vacation for, 3 days straight makes it tough to do tactics.
What can you do better here? You can support hold Berlin.
Oh, I could support myself into Norway and support hold Berlin, for example.
Yeah, but then you can't build anything because you've covered up all of your dots, right?
At least I'm not losing everything.
That's true.
What?
But it's not like a huge advantage to have these builds if you can't put them anywhere, right? This is just delaying the inevitable.
This year, didn't I lose everything? No, I gained Sweden and Belgium and lost Munich and Norway.
Yeah, you actually stay even on this turn.
Yes, I stay on 6, but it's much better. My position is much better if I'm in Norway, right? If I'm in Norway, then Russia doesn't have to, Russia's not taking Sweden and crap from me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not just dead, but as is, this position is bad, right?
I can't
Russia being
you.
in Berlin is bad for me, right? Russia building is not good. Look at where St. Petersburg and Ukraine are going. This is bad news for me.
But yeah,
I don't want them to make this progress.
I can't blame you for not going for Norway, because I think I would also have covered Denmark from here.
But I should have tapped Finland. Look, every time, remember what I did last time? There was a hostile unit in the North Sea, and I said, screw it, let them take whatever dot they want, if they want to. Right? I needed to do the same thing again. It's the most classic move that you do. By trying to spend a bunch of units covering for everything the North Sea could do, it costs your position tactically. Don't do it. If it takes something, it takes something. Don't worry about it. But... I was drunk on vacation and was like, oh, you could take Holland or Denmark. I don't want to take Holland or Denmark. No, what happened was that I assumed that England was going to take North Sea and give it a retreat. I assumed that's what was going to happen. I was like, well, I want to cover the retreats because obviously he's going to retreat to a dot if there's an open one. And what else is England going to do? Surely he's not so insane as to let England walk into either one of these centers.
France walk into, yeah.
Yes, England's not so insane as let France walk into his center. Anyways, obviously that happened. And this is, yeah. And
yeah, France is closing the net. They are all still working together, despite Austria having no potential gain. I'm gonna assume that Russia is offering Austria-Romania on the next turn here. Because that would just make sense, given it's kind of the only thing that Austria can get beyond this point, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Austria gets a build, and if Austria builds a Fleet Trieste, what does Russia care? Austria agrees to build Fleet Trieste, so... Yeah,
and Fleet Trieste does actually genuinely really help Austria here. You can go and break Ionian, and the Italian is not getting a build, so the Italian can't hold that position. Although Turkey can decide to use their final unit just to screw with you, I guess, and support hold Ionian if they want to. But,
yep.
Yeah, I could see that working. If you manage to break Ionian, then suddenly this position becomes playable for Austria, right? Beyond this point. Just gotta kill Italy.
Yeah, but also gotta beat Russia.
Yes. Okay, well...
I think what you and Gordon would agree on is one thing at a time, Ezio? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Don't be hasty. Or something. To which I say fair.
Well, I'll be interested to see whether Russia actually does give up Romania to the Austrian in this coming year, or whether it's or whether
what
the
if
Austrian
he convinces him to take Constantinople instead? Sorry, I shouldn't be spoiling anything. Go do power rankings. Dumbass.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, power rankings time. We are going... You are not in last place. In fact, you're... Yeah, I would say you're not even in second last place. Or third last place. Wait, I forgot that Turkey is there. You're going up the leaderboard.
Yeah, by just putting me down to the very bottom.
Hang on. There we go. So, Turkey, then England, then Italy. Italy's position is pretty defensible, like up until that Ionian falls, and it takes a year to kill Ionian, and then it takes another while to actually push through. So Italy gets the top of the like people who are completely doomed. England takes the army off. Okay. That's... I mean, I guess at this point, England has got to try and Janissary. They don't really have another option. You are in that group in 4th place, and then these are the actual competitors for the win at this stage. I would say Austria is in the worst position out of those. I would put Russia in the best position out of those, just because I think Russia has a pretty solid alliance locked in with Austria here, given what has been happening and what you've been saying. So that would be my power rankings order at this point. There we go, sure. Nice and concise.
Yeah, nice and quick. It helps when everything is really obvious.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Shall we go to spring? Anything you want to say before spring?
Nah.
Okay. Let's go to spring 1905. What is happening here?
I did really good tactics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you take Burgundy.
That's I took Burgundy.
Are you working with England? Like, England is tapping English Channel? What? I assume you're not working with England, given that England has come into Denmark behind you.
Did really good tactics.
You're supposed to be talking us through them, regardless of how bad they are.
Alright, look, man. Baltic Sea is an important place to be when Denmark, Sweden, Kiel, and Berlin are all lost, okay? So fight for them. So Baltic Sea is important, want to be there. Skagerrak's important, and I needed to bounce Bothnia because Fleet, St. Pete, South Coast. Just take a moment to appreciate the builds, by the way, as you go back to the winter, because we kind of sped through the winter real quick.
Yeah.
Because 2 armies from France, tough to walk those back. Fleet, St. Pete, South Coast. Oh, yeah. Oh, isn't that good news? Oh, yeah. For what it's worth, I know how the game ends, but you should put me below Italy in the power rankings. Because Germany dies, Italy maybe doesn't die. Italy maybe lasts a little longer. Germany doesn't hold anything.
I don't think Italy lost. Like, the Austrian units are coming out to take Ionian. What can Italy do against that?
Just last long enough for Russia to stab. Because Russia's gonna kill Austria, right? Just a matter of time. Russia just has to take the shot.
The thing is, I also kind of know Ed Sullivan's play, and he might not take the shot. He might just try to get Austria as the friendly ally who is so friendly that towards the end of the game he's in a state where he's not necessarily looking to compete for that win. I don't know. He can also be really cutthroat at times, so I could see him going in for it. But it's not impossible.
It's the top board of a tournament. It's winner take all. Perfect time to be cutthroat. Anyways, after looking at the builds, look at my tactics, and then maybe things make a little more sense. Because I'm in the no, we're gonna die if people keep attacking me. So we have to try to find a way to make ourselves useful to somebody. Trying to defend doesn't work, right? Look at the moves that they input, and look at what moves I could have done to stop any of them, right?
Yeah, Denmark's getting tapped, Rose getting tapped, you're definitely losing Kiel, you can't tap Berlin to stop this, right? There's a backfill on Munich, so there's no point going for Munich. There's nothing you can do on Sweden. Blocking St. Pete out of Bothnia makes sense. I mean, the only thing I'm seeing that's really bad here is the fact that England gets into Denmark, but then, even then, it's not terrible tactics, it's just there's not much you can do.
5 units versus 20 from all the different angles, the way that this position is set up is really bad. Kiel could have tapped Denmark, right? That's a move I could have made, and I think you could argue even I should have made. I think this I didn't, because I was worried that Munich was going to support Burgundy to Ruhr, because I thought that was a very plausible tactic to then get Ruhr, Burgundy, and Picardy to then be lined up to take all of like Holland, Belgium, and Kiel and Denmark in the fall. Like I think if they were setting up to eliminate me this year, I think the Munich supports Burgundy to Ruhr line works better. But they went for Kiel this phase instead, and so the Munich tap prevented that like complete annihilation line. Whereas the Denmark tap would keep Denmark. But anyways, so Germany's eliminated, and as I start talking about this, I'm going to start referring to Germany more in the third person to help distance myself.
Because it's painful.
I want no association with this German position.
All right.
Yeah.
This has to be an arranged bounce over here, right? You wouldn't just leave Greece. So that it seems like everything's still fine between these two powers here, although Russia is moving the army south, which you wonder why are they doing if they...
Yeah, right. That army could have just gone to Warsaw.
Yes.
And if there's going to be pressure in the West, if there's going to be fighting with France around the remnants of the German dots, like, that army maybe should go someplace else.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it didn't. It went to Sevastopol. Great news for Austria, I'm sure.
Russia has Smyrna. It's not 100% guaranteed if Austria decides to cut Constantinople, but it probably is guaranteed.
You could support Khan to Smyrna and then tap Romania and cover Khan with Black Sea.
Oh, that is true. Because you've got the Sevastopol unit here now to cover Constantinople. Yeah, so it is 100% guaranteed. So I'm wondering if Turkey's final move will be, screw you, Austria, I'm support holding Ionian Sea. Because mine might be in that situation.
Yeah, it's such a satisfying support hold, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it genuinely, like, that one phase delay is a huge issue for Austria. You have to take Ionian in order to crack the rest of this, and it's not incredibly quick once you have. You still got the fleet hanging around in the back line ready to cover stuff, right? You still have to slowly slog through this area. That will hurt a lot if they do that support hold.
Yeah, it'd feel really good.
Can I go through and see it, or see whether it happens?
Oh yeah, you can see whatever you want. Hell yeah.
All right, full 1905. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that feels so good.
Well, I mean, to you, this must have been quite satisfying to see as well, right? Because you're going, okay, well, Austria, I told you that attacking me would be a bad idea. You're now getting really slowed down, and Russia is just going to run over you. Except, actually, Austria gets 2 builds on this phase anyway. So maybe it's not that satisfying for you.
Yeah, except Russia gets a lot too, right? And it's not like Austria's position is actually any better, right? Constantinople's an imaginary dot with 3 Russian units adjacent to it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that Ed even gave these dots. So I will say this phase, Ed told me that he was going to walk out of Sweden as an homage to me walking out of Sweden all those phases ago. And he said that he was going to put me into Kiel.
That's rubbing salt in the wound a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And I was flying back from Fiji at this point. I was like in the airport and I was like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? That'd be a great way to come back. And then I can go and throw to Ed at the end of the game and like, we can all be nice and happy. And then due to the tactics, right? Like I would have been on 4 dots, I think. Because I keep both Belgium and Holland this phase by tapping everything. It didn't change my tactics in the West for what it's worth. Like I was going to do these moves anyways, but I was expecting Ed to do different moves with Sweden, but then he doesn't. And I feel like Ed, this phase, didn't have to try to appease Austria anymore. I think that Ed could have like just taken Smyrna and then just stabbed Austria right now, walked into Romania, taken Munich, for example. Like, I think this could have been nasty.
Maybe,
but
you have to also think that at that point the entire board is going to attack him, right? Can you weather the entire board attacking you for 5 years? It is a very strong Russian position, but it might not be holding out for 5 years strong.
I mean, Austria is not in a position to do anything against you. You would get your 4 builds, right? And like 4 builds are a lot of builds.
Like it's
England,
not
I think, doesn't like France, right? So England isn't going to fight you. So you'd have at least have the fleet in Denmark. If you keep me on side, it's trivial. If you don't keep me on side, even by taking Sweden and Kiel this way, then you've still. I don't know. I think that's a good line for Ed to just go aggro from this position.
So the other thing you have to think about in this kind of position, and like always have to think about on a top board if you're doing well, which isn't a position I've been in much, so take my advice with a grain of salt here. But the fact that 5 years is a lot of time for someone to be able to give someone else dots as well, right? Which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon if Ed does go in for Austrian dots right now and go, hey, I'm taking your stuff. But it is certainly going to be a concern towards the end game if Austria 100% trusted Russia and then Russia goes in and stabs him. Then it's going to be like, I think I might prefer France to win to you, and I might. I mean,
Austria's already stabbed Russia twice this game, right?
Yeah, that is true.
They like don't have one of these like super tight alliances that has been super open and honest the entire game, right? Austria wasn't pretending to be like the greatest of allies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that relationship is quite different. Because I know what you're talking about, right? If you have these 2 people who are like super tight and then one of them stabs the other one to go for the win, the guy who's just stabbed usually turns around to the other side of the board and says, take everything, I'm going to kill that bastard.
Yes.
Right? I don't think this is that. And then there's the follow-up of like, England isn't going to do that because England hates France and is only janissarying because France has already killed England. So you're not collapsing in the north anytime soon. And if you're saying like, okay, yeah, the only way that Russia doesn't lose this game is if Austria and France conspire to have Austria throw everything to France, whilst Italy is like alive still and presumably really pissed at Austria. Like, I don't know. I think this is like I think it was. I suspect Ed spent a lot of time considering actually playing for like the aggressive win on the board this phase. Let's go. And then decided, no, he's going to keep Austria on side. He's going to keep him as a friend. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it works out for him, I guess. Do you have anything else to talk about on this phase, or do you want to just move forward?
Oh, I'm happy to just go forward. This is fine.
All right. So, winter 1905. Got a fleet build from France. I'm so sad that you take Gascony off. I know it doesn't do anything, but like it's such a fun troll unit if you keep it on.
Oh, I mean, it's super annoying for France, right?
Yeah, but like, you did just get
if I keep
stabbed
Gascony
by
on
Russia, so I understand it, right?
Yeah, it was just like the end game. Like, there's a guy who's already dying, right? And there's no need to say anything. And so it, as you said, it was rubbing salt in the wound. And I'm like, well, fuck that. I can mess with you still. Like, oh, you want me to keep an annoying unit for France? Not a chance. Have fun with this fleet in the Baltic. Obviously, it's not going to be able to do that much, but it can do something still. So,
yeah, I'm actually looking right now at this fleet in Trieste and wondering whether that's the right unit in this situation. I'd be tempted to go with another army, and it sounds kind of insane because as Austria, you probably want to control the Med at this point. But at the same time, the only way you're not going to control the Med with these 2 fleets is if Russia comes out and starts fighting you. And if Russia starts fighting you, you need the armies, right, to go and push into that core. You're not going to win the fleet fight down here in Turkey anyway.
Oh yeah, it's not insane at all. This phase, Italy and Austria were telling me, oh, hey, we're totally going to go flip the script on Russia. This is totally going to happen. Russia needs me to build a fleet, though, so I'm going to do that. But totally we're going to flip the script on him this year. And I was like, building the fleet means you're not going to beat Russia, guaranteed. But do whatever you want. I don't care. But this is wrong. You need to build the army.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, glad you instantly saw that by looking at the board for like 10 seconds.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I'm also like looking at this with the assumption that Russia is going to stab Austria at some point, and maybe Austria didn't have that same assumption.
Yeah, because like Ed wouldn't stab someone to try to win the game, right? On this top
No,
board, no
surely
way would
never.
Ed do that. No, why would he make that move? Of course. And like this position from Russia, absolutely no. Austria is unstabbable, right? There's no way there's going to be anything there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
I do just want to go on center count here. Russia is currently on 11, Austria is on 9, France is on 7. Which
yeah.
is like France is not as big of a factor as you would think as a France, but then they do have 2 builds in pocket, so I guess they go up to being even with Austria at that point.
Yeah, and like more than just having 2 builds in pocket, they're the only power in the West.
Well, Russia arguably is a pretty solid power in the West, right? It's got 3 fleets.
I mean,
and
Russia's
3 armies.
getting there, but like Norway's not in the West, right?
Norway's not in the West? What?
No. It's like west of the Stanley line, but it's like it's not contesting the lowlands. I don't know. I think that Russia's not really I think that France controls the West at this point in time, right?
Hmm. I mean, I see what you mean, right? There's no pressure in the south at all, so they can just dedicate all their units to pushing across here. Russia's units aren't very well positioned to push out. But Russia does have 6 units in the west. I would say I would count 6 units in the west to France's 7. So, and Marseille is debatably in the west. It has a long way to go to get there. I think it's most likely going to go down here and then try and prop Italy up, right? I mean, do you even want to prop Italy up? Because you kind of need someone to counterbalance Russia. If Austria doesn't get into Italy, then Russia's going to have an even easier time, right? I'm interested to see how this ends up playing out.
Yeah, well, let's go to the spring of 06.
All right, spring 1906. Well, I mean, it is going down to Italy, although Italy retreats the wrong way. These have to all be arranged bounces, right?
Surely. Greece just held. It didn't support anything. The move into Bulgaria was from Khan instead of from Greece. Like, yeah.
Your moves are very funny this turn. Just like support France in and get supported in by Russia. What's going on there?
Ed didn't tell me about that. I was just tapping Kiel because I could.
Okay, I see. He wants you out of Baltic so that he can crush your unit, I assume. But
yeah, if he gets into Ruhr, but
yeah, you stop him getting into
it didn't matter.
Nice. England is pulling Russia out of Scandinavia here, which might be a good survival strategy from him, to be honest, because he looks like he's being Russia's vassal now.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Being between 2 powers who both need you. As you were looking at the numbers in the north, right? England's 2 fleets are quite significant for North Sea control. And so both powers want him alive for that reason. And I think Mordio was expecting Kingrid to be on side rather than working with Ed here. But,
right. Well, I mean, he did tap London. Maybe he was expecting London to walk out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all looking very, very good for Russia right now. Like, absurdly good for Russia. And then managed to push out into the North Sea. They've got another fleet out into Norway. This didn't go so well down here, and the fact that you're propping... I say propping Russia up. It's not propping Russia... Sorry, propping France up.
Propping
it's
France
not,
up,
it's
yeah.
not propping them up. It's just helping them. They're doing fine. But, like, Russia has the momentum in the north, and with England on side, that is quite a big advantage. I could see this game being over in a couple of years with a concession to Russia if they manage to get a very good stab on Austria off.
Yeah, I mean, if Russia just, like, takes Constantinople, right, like, there's not even that much more. But, yeah, right, the Russian position here looks absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, want to go take a look at the fall?
All right, let's go through to fall 1906. You remain alive and on 2 dots. And oh my god, all right. There is collaboration happening here. I mean, this is amazing for the Austrian. Holy hell. Okay, so he is going all out against the Russian now. Wow. I'm not sure what to say on that front. Suddenly, what I said last turn sounds absurd, because now Russia is definitely not gonna win this game anytime soon.
Yeah, but it looked like it, because if Italy just played at all reasonably defensively, Austria doesn't make progress and can't make this stab. Russia's position around Turkey is completely unassailable. Russia wouldn't have lost anything around Germany. But because Italy and Austria and I are all like, you know what, we can mess with Russia here. Then Italy at this point really does not want to see Russia win, as evidenced by these moves. And so this was the tactic that they came up with in the South. And like, yeah, it's the latest Lepanto you're ever going to see, but it's pretty funny. I mean, the Austrian fleet in Ionian going for the convoy, it's like, it's sick.
Yeah, I mean, and it's incredible for Austria too. I assume the move into Rome is a stab, right?
No,
completely
that's
agreed.
He walks out of Rome.
Well,
you see, it was completely agreed.
That wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Yeah,
but he's positioning to take Naples as well. Like,
yeah, Italy said, "I want Russia to not win this game, and I will do anything to make that happen."
Okay. Jeez.
So Italy does not want Russia to win, and this is how Italy's going to stop Russia from winning. Sacking everything to Austria immediately to give Austria the space to turn around as fast as possible.
I'm also not...
Let's get to the end game.
I'm not 100% sure how Italy came to that conclusion, because I would understand if it was you, right? Because you had been directly screwed over by Russia, but Russia just... The only way that Russia's impacted Italy's game here is taking Austria's side and not going into Austria, right?
Yeah, I mean, to that I can say, watch the interviews with Ed and Jeff, because the diplomats are going to do post-game interviews, and you're going to hear from everyone, and you're going to get their thoughts on stuff.
Gotcha. So yeah, shout outs to that. Diplomats used to be their own separate diplomacy channel. They've now merged in with the Diplomacy Broadcast Network. So you can go and see all their stuff on the Diplomacy Broadcast Network, including a full analysis of this game, plus interviews, plus the Paris method selection at the start, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff that you get to see.
If you think we go slow, they spend 1 hour for every year.
They do.
Oh yeah.
They go even slower than us. And they do it live over the course of the game, right? So that you can watch Olympus as it happens, basically, with them. Although it has already happened, of course. But I assume, Ezio, you're also going to be interviewed on that, so they can catch you.
I have already been interviewed for that.
Ooh, okay. But your interview isn't out yet, or?
Yes. I think they're releasing all of the interviews in like chunks, maybe as people like in elimination order, maybe. I'm not sure.
Got it.
But I've had mine. I don't think everyone's had theirs yet. So they'll come out when they come out.
Got it. But yeah, I'll leave a link to that stuff in the description below, or just to the Diplomacy Broadcast Network if it's not out yet. Check their most recent videos, if this video is recent. If not, search for Olympus season... What season is this? Season 5?
This is season 4.
Season 4, okay, yeah. So search for
Olympus. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'd be really embarrassed. Let me double check that.
I'm fairly certain we've commentated every Olympus like season final, but I get the numbers mixed up a bit because they had a different name before they were Olympus, and they ran one season under that name as well.
This is Olympus season 4. That's what this is called.
Okay, gotcha. Right, so we are on Olympus season 4. Search Olympus season 4 on their channel, and you will find all the diplomat stuff to do with that. Anyway, this is very, very cool Lepanto. It doesn't look good for Italy, but clearly they are giving up at this point, so they are just going...
It's like a key water, right?
A key water? What?
The one
the
blue water or something?
Blue
water. Sorry, I call it the key water because it's just as insane. And the key is my default for Austria, Italy, insane alliance. But yes, Blue Water.
I think a lot of our viewers won't know what the Blue Wars of Lepanto is, and it's a very cool opening that no one ever does because it's
terrible. Yeah, when Meme says cool, he means terrible. You don't talk to Italy as Austria. You move into Ionian. They build a fleet and dislodge you, and then you agree to convoy them as the Lepanto over. It's terrible.
Okay, so as the original article for the Blue Wars of Lepanto literally says that you should do it without Italy's permission, which is utterly insane and you should never do. But as a strategy in coordination with Italy, it can be kind of cool as one of those strategies that you go to them and say, hey, I've got a cool, weird strategy that would work. And then they go, oh yeah, that's cool. Let's do that because they're a cool player. And then you have this cool alliance that you lock in for the entire game because you did a cool thing, right?
This is one of those things that's different in face-to-face versus online. Because online, you don't see everyone talking to everyone else. And so in face-to-face, if you literally never talk to the person, then everyone on the board knows that you guys aren't working together and therefore won't defend against it. But if you guys can somehow find a way to coordinate without talking about it on the board, and everyone sees that you guys aren't talking about it and are clearly just at war, then what happens is Austria's in either Aegean or Eastern Med, usually Eastern Med, but it's in one of the two, and then goes for the aggressive convoy or attack with their unit. And Turkey isn't set up to defend against it because they don't expect you guys to suddenly coordinate after the opening. The way it looks like, right? Austria sends their fleet from Albania.
Let me set up a sandbox here real quick because I think this is one of the ones that really benefits from having a sandbox move. So it's something like this, right? You move to Albania at first.
Well, no, you need Budapest and Serbia. You need Budapest and Serbia. You need the whole thing, right? Because if you want to get your builds right, you and Vienna to Budapest, right? If you need a DMZ Galicia.
Yeah. Okay, I was doing the bits that matter.
Okay, but you also everything matters in the opening, man.
You need to make sure that Italy doesn't go for a Lepanto like convoy into Tunis. You need them to do like an Alpine chicken or something, just something that isn't attacking you and isn't going for a Lepanto, which realistically in 2026 is never going to happen, right? But back when this opening was invented, it was. The idea is that Italy now has this unit in Ionian Sea, which is 100% going to Tunis because they need to pick up their build, right? And you just go, you know what? I think I like Ionian Sea. I'm going to go out into Ionian Sea. I'll do this at the same time.
And it's really good that Captain Me didn't put in Russia's for orders for Russia or Turkey, because if he does, this opening looks a lot worse. But let's continue. Let's put orders for them now. Actually, so let's put the fleet in Romania. And anyways, yeah. So if this is what the opening looks like, well, sorry, but there's a thing we should because. Yeah, like there's bounces in Black Sea and stuff, and then assume there's like a single fleet build in Smyrna, right? So Smyrna goes to Khan, because this is the real upside to it is the relevant part where once Turkey builds a fleet in Smyrna, they're only covering one of Aegean or Eastern Med, right? So, and then you get the advanced retreat, and you can actually see the use of the hostile retreat.
This is the big thing. We did, so the important thing is in your standard Lepanto opening, you have to guess whether Turkey is going to cover Aegean or going to cover Eastern Mediterranean. Because if you guess correctly and go to the other one, you get a massive advantage over them, right? Either way you do it, you get to outflank them. If you go to the incorrect one, you get a massive disadvantage because you block in your units behind as well. And usually Ionian Sea is an Italian unit, so you just have to do this. You don't have an option as to whether to go for the guessing game or not. The literal only thing that you can... Well, okay, so the
normally you've got a fleet in Greece, and normally you can support them into Aegean. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that part of it. Don't worry. Okay, this is cool. You get an advanced retreat. Okay, look, because then it doesn't matter what happens. You still get into one.
So yeah, the idea is you then go to Italy and you say, "Hey, Italy, please dislodge me from Ionian," so that if I guess wrong here, even though I guess wrong, I then have a retreat, and I can retreat to the other one of the two. And we still manage to outflank Turkey, even though they guess correctly against us, right? And that is the whole point of this opening. I mean, also you would have wanted Italy to put their army here so you can convoy into Syria or do something like that. But the entire point of this opening is to get that one like extra retreat move and get the jump on Turkey. And there are so many much better ways to do that in modern diplomacy. Just things like having Italy go into Trieste and just move to Aegean in the first year so that you don't have to take the guess at all because Turkey doesn't have a unit there yet to block you, right?
I will say I would much rather Blue Water as Austria than Trieste alone.
I mean, that's very fair. But like this opening is more of like a cool thing than it is a reasonable opening. It's like you get to use this double move.
If as Italy you really want to attack France, I think as you noticed you have this army in Piedmont quickly, and then your fleet is still in Tunis early. I think this actually gives you like it's a reasonable way to both attack France and still put the fleet in position against Turkey quickly. But a bunch of things. One, with the modern Turkey, like the hold in Smyrna. The fleet gets from Ankara, gets to Constantinople a lot because there's more demilitarized zones in the Black Sea than there used to be. And then the fleet in Smyrna gets built. And if there's a fleet in Smyrna and a fleet in Constantinople, it doesn't matter that you've gone for this blue water. Like you can only tap one of the two anyway. So Turkey's getting the other one. In fact, it's much worse than putting the fleet in Greece because you can't bounce both. It's really, really bad. You only have the one fleet bordering both. Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, and as stated in the original version of this, like the original article that got published, this move in the fall is not communicated with Italy at all. You basically force their hand. You go, I'll go to Ionian. I won't tell Italy anything about it. On the next turn, you are in Ionian. Italy is like, how dare you be in Ionian? I'll build a fleet. And you go to Italy and say, look, I've got this cool moveset. Let's do this cool moveset. And the whole idea behind it is like, it doesn't matter that Italy didn't know about it because their best moveset is dislodging Ionian either way. But in reality, you've also really annoyed them.
Yeah, and then you also really need them to send their army down so they can convoy the army over to Syria if available. All right, we got a little sidetracked. Let's go back.
All right.
The whole point of this was to say the two country convoy into Syria reminded me of the Blue Water. Here we are. It's 06. Russia's position, and it's a power ranking time, right? So I think
once we go into winter, shall we do that?
Yeah, we can go to winter, and you can do power rankings.
Okay, so Italy got the jump on. Well, Italy and Austria have got a really good jump on Russia. Russia went -1 this turn.
Yeah,
they take
Russia
off
lost Berlin.
Jeez, and Naples comes off, and Italy is just like 100%. I'm gonna kill Russia and do nothing else.
Quote unquote kill Russia.
Well, okay,
but stop Russia from winning.
Yeah, Austria gets Romania for free. They the Russian units are not in position to stop them very quickly. They can pull back to Moscow and Warsaw, right? But Austria gets a free walk into Ukraine at the same time as taking Romania. Russia can probably defend Sevastopol, but they've got a lot of things to try and defend against a lot of units, right?
Yeah. If Austria just walks into so Russia, if they do the most naive defense of Livonia to Moscow, Silesia to Warsaw, Prussia to Livonia, right? Which is, I think, the very first instinct naive approach. Then Austria completely annihilates that by just walking to Ukraine, Galicia, Silesia, takes Romania. This is yikes for Russia. But Russia can maybe convoy out of Sweden, and there's still noise. There's still play to be. But you're doing a power rankings.
Yeah. So my power rankings, all of that was basically to say Russia is in third place to me right now. I think they this stab, and particularly the fact that Italy is on side with Austria has promoted Austria above Russia. I don't know between Austria and France. Because right now, my instinct is that the Austrian position is stronger, but also the Russian units are going to be defending against the Austrian. And who's defending against the French? There's no one defending against the French anymore,
Germany. Right? I got this. Flex.
Go Ezio. It's all on you. So I think I'm going to actually, despite me thinking that the Austrian position is a bit stronger, leave France on the top here. And have Austria in second place. just because of the board dynamics. If Russia continues and like successfully defends against France in the north, then maybe that switches. But I think right now Russia is going to get some disbands, and they're going to disband the northern units like they did with Norwegian Sea here, because that's what you do when you get attacked by your ally. You go, okay, I'll disband on the other front as a screw you, right? You're not winning off of this stab. And then, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Turkey here. They are gone. And then we have the most important part of the power rankings. Who among the 2 center powers is the strongest 2 center power?
Da-da.
So I think that Russia is going to have to grab as many dots as they can in the north, which means that Denmark is going to get crushed, even though they're currently vassalized to Russia. Maybe that's a bad instinct on my part, though, because that Denmark unit is going to help protect them against France. But I would, as Russia, want to be going, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I need to grab as much as I possibly can. I'm getting Berlin, I'm getting Denmark, like, screw you all. And if Russia does that, then you die, and England dies, and Italy die, all in this year. So that's a thing. No, you don't die this year. You're gonna get French. You're gonna support the French to Kiel, and then they're gonna be very happy with you and let you live there. So I'm gonna leave you at the top, and then probably England and then Italy, because I suspect Italy's dots are gonna just get taken here. Does Italy manage to live in Smyrna? I don't think it matters. I'm gonna leave you in that order. Okay, that's my power rankings. Back to you in the studio, Ezio.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's go look at the spring, and we'll see how things look, eh?
Okay, please don't get crushed in Holland. Okay. Rip. Did you offer France support to Kiel?
Absolutely not. France can stop it.
Okay, well then, I can I rejig my power? It's too late to rejig my power.
Nope, too late. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Russia told me that he was doing whatever France wanted, and that France didn't want to keep me alive. So why did I care?
Fair. Okay. So at this point, Russia has said that France is gonna win the game. That feels a bit too early. I mean, I see why, right? If Austria is gonna run all over you, you kind of need to use that. That's the only bit of leverage you have left. But yeah, you've still got 4 years left in this game, right? 07, 08, 09, 10. So there's still a chance. And you can see that Russia is still playing for this, right? They go for Berlin, they bounce France in Norwegian Sea, they probably grab Denmark on the next turn. They are still trying, even though they definitely aren't countering France very much.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about, or should we just move ahead?
We can go to the next phase, sure.
Okay. I also wanted to point out I had expected France to take Tunis here, but Austria manages to slip into it, and Austria has 2 on Naples, so Austria is going to get both of those. I think France might need to worry about Austria actually managing to hit the 17. That's not beatable because France chose first. But hey, we'll see as we go. Fall 1907. Okay, what happens here? Well, Austria does...
I don't know anymore. I stopped watching the game.
We do say goodbye to Ezio. We say goodbye to King Red, and Spedio survives. Gets into Smyrna.
Yeah.
So my power rankings were in the wrong order here.
Yep. But I have the tiebreaker over Kingrid, so.
Okay, fair.
I finished in 5th place, baby.
All right. So then we have these French units pulling back to presumably go and grab Tunis off the Austrian, which I think makes sense. At this point, the biggest threat to the French win is if Austria manages to rush the stalemate line. Because Austria can get a lot of dots very fast in this area if they guess correctly, which they unfortunately did not here for them, but...
I mean... Yeah.
Like, if Romania goes to Sevastopol here and they just go all out to try and get Warsaw and Moscow on the next turn, then they do get to that 17 center stalemate line very, very quickly, right?
Not quite. Like, St. Petersburg is tough.
Oh, right? No. So they don't get through the stalemate line. You can't get to... St. Petersburg isn't on the southern side of the line, right? But what I'm saying is...
Yeah. But you're saying... Okay, you're thinking they just hold at the 17 for forever? France is in Ionian. They don't have a stalemate line.
Yeah, Ionian is a problem. That's what France is pivoting to try and deal with, because the way you break an Austrian stalemate line most commonly is with the fleets in the south before they manage to get all the fleets out, because Austria gets fleets out so slowly, right? Not that it'll come
Austria
down
does
to
have 3 fleets out already.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, maybe has an Italian fleet, right? If the fleet in Smyrna sticks around. So, like, that's a lot of fleets to have. It's just dealing with this fleet in Ionian is the biggest pain. You don't, like, it's past the line. You really can't answer it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shall we go ahead? Is there anything else you want to talk about here?
Did you talk about the convoy to Norway?
I did not talk about the convoy to Norway. That is a very...
Yeah, you should probably talk about the convoy to Norway.
That is just outright saying, at this point, I'm letting France have it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that gets to St. Petersburg, that can make taking Moscow pretty difficult. Because if Warsaw goes back to Livonia, you have the unit in St. Petersburg backing Moscow up. That's 2 supports on Moscow. Austria would need all of Prussia, Warsaw, Ukraine, Sevastopol to push that successfully.
And it's really difficult for Austria to get into Prussia, given the way the tactics went this phase.
Yeah, the Russians still have everything in this area, and they well, you say it's difficult. They could have retreated there, but retreating there would probably have been... Would it have been bad? I don't know that it would have been bad. I think it could have been a good move, actually, because you're already getting the builds to backfill, right? You might just want the unit behind the lines. Anyway, yeah, doesn't matter all that much. I think I can see what conclusion is coming. Based on the fact that Russia is giving it to France here. So, shall we go ahead?
Yeah.
Alright, winter 1907. There's an extra fleet coming down that... wait, Austria only went +1? Really? Well, they misguessed on Warsaw, I guess. They only got Romania. They swapped it for Bulgaria. They got Naples and Tunis, though.
They got Naples, Tunis, Romania, but they lost Bulgaria and Con. And then they gained Ankara, but I think they lost Munich as well, right? Wasn't Munich... Munich Austrian?
Yeah, they did. And that makes the retreat to Bohemia a lot more sensible. I do think fleet is probably still the right move, because at this point you need to try and corral and evict the French units before they get down here to have a chance, but realistically you don't have a chance anymore.
At this position for Austria, they needed to guess right around Warsaw, because if they take Warsaw, if they guessed right, they've taken from Galicia, then Silesia ends up in Galicia. Russia doesn't build in Sevastopol because Russia's down 1. Austria does build. There's maybe a chance then. Plus, your position's a lot better because Warsaw then has retreats to Livonia. Like this could be playable actually. But without that guess, right, I think the Austrian chances are gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Notably, I agree with you, by the way, that their tactics, they should have sent Romania to Sevastopol last phase. And because Romania is much less important than Sevastopol. Sevastopol, it's further from your home center. It's just much better, right? So
yeah, I assume the reasoning behind that was just the Russian units are going to be in this area, right? We need to corral and destroy those, but in like at this point 1v1 logic takes over, and 1v1 logic says you push to the front line. You can deal with these later.
And 1v1s are end game tactics. Let's try to win. But there's a fundamental thing, like they've reached an end game, and if any one player gets really far ahead, the other two are going to conspire to stop them. It's tough that the way that Ed is choosing to conspire to stop Austria is by throwing to France like this, because that's brutal. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's go through to Spring 08 here. Okay. I think so. Austria pieces Russia out here, right? They're throwing a support hold on Russia. They're backing out of Romania and out of Ukraine and Galicia. They're saying, okay, okay, Russia, you get your way. I realize I'm not going to win this race if you're giving it to France. I'm going to do the only thing I have left to do, which is make peace with you, which was what Ed was going for, but he might have done a little bit too much. I don't know, actually.
But notably, Ed also mostly expected this, right? And then sends Moscow north, sends Baltic Sea north, takes Kiel, right? Gets Kiel popped, right? This tap on Holland was good. Like, this is very good. And then there's a convoy up to Liverpool, though, to stop the Fleet North Sea from doing too much damage around Scandinavia. And yeah, so like this phase looks like there's going to be some ball game left, because the center counts, right? Can you scroll? Can you on the video? Can you scroll down? I don't know if it's recording effectively, but
hang on. Okay, there we go.
Because like the center count is really important here, right? Because France is only a little bit ahead right now, and hey, if France loses Kiel like this and France doesn't get anything else, then wow, it's a tie and like tiebreakers and everything goes crazy.
Yeah, like this is actually a lot closer than I thought it was. This is kind of incredible. I didn't realize Russia had that many dots left. Even after giving Norway over, this could absolutely go anyway. Because also, yeah, France doesn't have the tiebreak, so yeah. Anything specific you want to talk about here, or should we just move ahead?
I mean, I think we're about to go into 08, right? For another power rankings time?
Yeah, so, well, we need to... This is currently Spring 08. We need to do Fall 08. And then
we can see the Fall.
Okay, Fall moves. Here we go, Fall 1908. France slips into St. Petersburg, but Russia takes Norway off them as a result. So Austria re-stabs Russia, it looks like, with French assistance.
And Russia kind of re-stabs too, right? Russia takes Ankara. So yes. I don't think they were fully on board, which I think makes sense, right? We're in the final couple years of this game, and everyone's within 2 centers of each other. So this is a tough fight, and we're not going to give anything up. But
this is very close.
If the only way that France doesn't win, right, is if Russia and Austria are pretty lockstep, and it doesn't quite look like they're so lockstep.
I don't know. Like, if Russia continues managing to defend in this kind of way, France didn't gain anything there, so they're still on 12. These moves take Austria. Do they take Austria up? They don't take Austria up because Austria lost Ankara, so they're still all on exactly the same center count? No, Austria did get Munich. So Austria goes +1. So Austria is actually in the lead after this phase, but only due to the tiebreak. It depends a lot on whether Russia chooses to continue to defend in the north or not. And I'm not sure that Russia themselves has a shot at the win at this stage. Which is always a really dangerous position to put someone in, especially when you are, when you're relying on them defending themselves in the north. Should we go to the winter then?
Yeah, and then again, you can have a full look at winter and see where everything was like.
Okay, so currently we have Russia on 10, France on 11, Austria on 12. Okay, so it's not actually just the... Did France go down one?
Yeah, France lost Kiel, right? Didn't get
Right,
anything.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Right, so what is France likely to take from this point? They get a unit into either Norwegian or North Sea on the next turn. In fact, they've got 2 years left to do this. I think you're right, because like this front relies so much on these two working together to defend it. And clearly when Austria is just pushed in, like that was kind of a winning play for France, getting Austria to go in. Breaking up the opposition. Russia is going to lose Bulgaria. Russia is probably, well, they don't necessarily lose Ankara, but they can't get enough centers to win from this point, right? I just don't think there's anywhere they can pick anything up. They can get Romania, but then they get pushed back out from this area, and like Austria can surround them. I think it would be very, very hard to argue with. Well, okay, so first off, goodbye, Ezio. It's been good to see you. Then
R.I.P.
It'd be hard to argue that the power rankings are in any order but this, I think. Despite the fact that Austria is in first. And the French fleet in the south got blown up. I don't know. Like, is there a world where Austria just outraces France by grabbing as much as possible from the south? There's just too many Russian army units for that, right? And Russian fleet Black Sea is especially annoying. I think it's gotta be this order. It's gotta be most likely France, and then second Austria, third Russia, and Russia is like significantly below the other two. I don't see a way that Russia wins this. I know you are staying very silent, I assume because you know the result. So
I did see the announcement about who wins.
and also played the game, yes.
Like I said, I got eliminated. Once I got eliminated, I stopped checking it. And then I saw the announcement. It was like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. Shall we go ahead to 09 then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 1909. I want to see if Russia backs off. They do back off. And Austria even tries to support the French into the Russian. I think that is a bad move. You cannot be pushing the French forward at this point. But like it doesn't matter anyway, because once Russia decides that they can't win, that's GG. Right? Yeah, France gains Kiel. Notably they get bounced out of Norway here, so
doesn't matter though, because they're in Norwegian and North Sea.
Yeah, right? But oh yeah, and they have St. Petersburg as well, so it's a guaranteed take on Norway. They are definitely going to get Kiel, Denmark, Sweden, Norway by the end of the game, and they get Munich as well. This is going to be a close to a solo, right? And Austria is gaining Bulgaria, and that's it. No, they get Sevastopol as well. They get Sevastopol on a 50-50 guess, if they guess correctly. So, yeah, this is a definite France win from this position, I think. Unless Austria can find some way to flip the Russian around, but even then, I don't see what they can do.
Yeah, Austria needs to get Russia to, like, not defend Bulgaria, Ankara, Sevastopol type stuff. Right. And if Russia throws to Austria, then Austria can win. But that's basically the only way.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Shall I go to full?
Yep.
All right, full 1909. I mean, Russia does defend themselves and like supports hold in Berlin. It looks like they came to some agreement to try and hold, but
they agreed to ready up their orders. And they all agreed to draw after the winter resolved.
Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say you do need to get the Russian to flip as Austria, but if you get the Russian to flip by stopping taking stuff off Russia, you still can't win because you have to outrace France, right? And the only dots you can get are the Russian ones. So that makes more sense. We go through to the winter phase, and Russia takes off their southern units. That's kind of promising.
Yeah, but they agreed
but,
to draw, so.
Yeah. But then that is GG at the end. So well played to Mordio. Up there at the top with a grand total of 14 centers at the end of the game and actually getting surprisingly close to a solo victory in 1910. I don't think they could have got the 18th, right? There's nowhere across the line they can get in time, but it wouldn't be out of the, like, it wouldn't be completely impossible for them to get to a 17 center position from here, which is pretty damn incredible considering it's a
this year
game.
I don't think they're getting Sweden, right? Or Berlin.
They okay, there's the unit in Moscow to tap St. Petersburg, that's true, so they can't really.
And then even if it's really tough, like
yeah, okay, fair enough. It just feels like one of those France positions that's going to flood the West. I mean, it already has.
This is a French position where if there's an untimed end, then it's France is getting to 17, right? Yes. Maybe 18, depending on what happens, right? But it's just the fact that this game ends this year means there's not quite enough time for France to really get there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, again, like with the convoy to Tuscany, right? All bets are off.
I mean, that was a super interesting game. Regardless, I thought that Russia was just going to dominate it after like the halfway point, and then Austria and Italy managed to pull off that really good stab, which doesn't end up paying off for them at the end, but it certainly gave them more of a chance at it than it was going to. And by them, I mean,
and it paid off for Italy in the sense that Italy just wanted Russia to not win.
Yes.
And so for Jeff, right, for Spedio, absolutely accomplished the goal.
And also should be noted, Spedio came in 4th place, which I'm not sure would have happened otherwise as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, very good game to watch, I think. Obviously for you it will be a little bit painful, I'd imagine, given the way it went a bit downhill.
Given how terribly I played this game and having to go rub my face through it again.
That's the thing with diplomacy, right? Because seemingly terrible moves can be great in the right situations, and quite often on top boards, there are situations where we go, oh, that move looks terrible, but diplomatically it ends up working out in some way. And sometimes you just gotta take a risk, and sometimes those risks don't pay off. I do think the risk that you took in this game was not one that you should have taken. But
yeah, hey. Don't talk to Andrew Goff about diplomacy and try to imitate him. I just highly recommend against that. Andrew Goff will do Andrew Goff things. This was my attempt to do Andrew Goff things, and it does not work.
Congrats. For those who don't know, Andrew Goff is like the 3-time world champion, 4-time world. I think it's 3-time.
I think he's the best living diplomacy player.
Yes. And he does some very, very wacky plays and alliances and stuff that you would think would never work and then somehow do end up like working.
Yeah, but if you don't think it's gonna work, it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the important part. I see his moves, I'm like, oh, that's never gonna work, and then I try to do something like it, and then, oh, hey, it didn't work. Stupid. Well, anyways, congrats to Mordio for winning, and yes. Well played. I had a blast on this board.
Very well played, and I'm also glad to hear you said earlier that you had like a jokey relationship with Ed through the whole game, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. It wasn't like tinged with salt at the end.
I mean, I the most pissed I was with him was right after, was like with the Sweden thing at the end, right? Because it was like, man, I'm already dead. Just like what he did the next phase, right? Was like, hey, I'm just gonna kill you. That's fine. And I was like, yeah, all right, respect. Let's do that. But the line to me at the end was just lame. But other than that, it was fun.
All right. Well, yeah, very well played against Amordio. I want to say thank you to Jackson for putting on the tournament for the whole thing, and well done to Ezio for making it into the final in the first place. So we got to commentate this one from a first-person perspective. That was very cool too. You can check out the rest of the commentaries on Ezio's Olympus run. I think I've got them in a playlist, so I'll link that in the description below. Any final words on this game, Ezio?
I feel like I've said enough. I'm sorry for everyone's eyes for having to watch this game. I apologize.
I mean, it was entertaining to see. And it was cool.
I do, for the viewers who enjoy watching my suffering, actually, this was a good one for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, the game as a whole was pretty good. It was just, from your perspective, it didn't go very well.
Yeah, God, what's a good clickbait title about watch Ezio suffer for 3 hours?
Maybe it's watch Ezio suffer for 3 hours.
Great. We did it.
All right. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.